moving forward, actually building on that aspect, so you come up with a great example with respect to how, alternate ways in which we could actually select governments. Now we have elections, right? Elections where they will offer freebies, they'll offer big promises. But then there's a great way in this, where they talk about two different ways in which we can select governments or political parties to rule us for, this much amount of years. One is simple tenders, inviting tenders from political parties. And in the tender, each party has to mention they will do these things, and whichever party mentions the lowest, cites the quotes the lowest amount to do all that stuff, should be given the chance to,
Lowest tax,
yeah,
maximum benefit. Who can deliver?
right.
That's how you do roads and business. Government does billions of dollars worth every 5-year term. Why not this?
True that. And another amazing option was not just inviting tenders, but also there's a public procurement method that is recognized by Western democracies as well, called the Swiss challenge method. How many of you are aware of it? The Swiss challenge method. As you know, whenever government wants to build a road, they have to invite tenders, right? So at least three parties have to come, and then the government can select based on quality and quantity and all that stuff. But there's another much more efficient method called the Swiss challenge, which actually in India we don't really follow that at all for anything, right?
No.
Yeah, that's a great thing. How nobody Swiss challenge? Swiss challenge is more like, let's say you're all vendors, okay, and we are the government. We want to build a bridge. I'll ask one of you vendors who is like a known vendor. Let's say I ask, Ahinsha sitting over here. I ask Ahinsha's company to first submit a draft and give a quotation. And using that as a reference, I let everybody else know, hey, you know what? This is what you've already received from one of the known vendors. Who can compete with that? Who here can give a better quotation? That's an amazing method for public procurement worldwide, but unfortunately in India, it's accepted by the IMF and World Bank, but in India we don't use it. I think that's even for public procurement we should bring that back. It's just inviting tenders,
Lowest.
just inviting everybody to submit their bids. Yeah, this is much more efficient because a known vendor is submitting their standard prices. It gives opportunity for everybody else to compete with that known vendor. Yeah, and then it won't stop there. The known vendor also gets an opportunity. Let's say you Rida quotes a lesser price. The first vendor is then given a chance. Hey, you know what? You have been a good contractor to the government. Do you wanna, yeah, re-quote, give a rebid. Yeah.
Does that come under quality? How is the government if it's not vendor, you know the quality that they got, right?
Correct.
So if it's an unknown vendor who says that I can do it at a lower price, maybe they might cut corners, like for building bridges, they might dilute the quality of how do we mitigate that?
See, that's already there in the normal tender system.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Doesn't mean that just because, let's say, Rida being an unknown vendor or no experience in the field, comes to me and gives me the tender, doesn't mean that I, as a government, has to give it to her. I can always cite that, you know what, we don't know about this person. There is no experience. Quality can be used as a way to say no to Rida's bid and still go with the known vendor or some other vendors. Yeah, that's there in even normal tender, normal public procurement policies as well. But the Swiss challenge method is great. And in this movie particularly, they're talking about selecting governments with Swiss challenge method. Like a known political party once submits their bid of, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to keep our taxes to 2%, 3%. Yeah. And then other political parties get to bid. Yeah, try and outbid the known political party. Yeah. So that's the Swiss challenge method. It's a revolutionary method that you have brought forward to the spotlight. So I have a question over there. Don't you think, there are smaller countries right now in the world where using a constitutional monarchy, with a constitutional monarchy, I think this Swiss challenge method or even normal tender method can work wonders, right?
See, the smaller countries, it becomes easier. Then again, it's the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. What works for a small thing? Our whole problem is government is trying to be your mother or father. The
Yeah.
stupid thing, it works in a family. The government can't do that for 1.2, 1.3 billion people.
Yeah, that's correct.
So the smaller it is, the simpler it is. It's like a tribe or a hamlet and anything. So those laws are different. You don't need any kind of government. Everyone knows everyone.
That's also true. There are certain projects in the world called as I was just telling them about a project called Liberland Project, the Free Republic of Liberland, where it's a free republic. Then there's another experimental project whereby it's called Montenegro, so Monte Libero, something like that, where they're trying to bring in. Montenegro allows a lot of, I mean, it's very easy to get residency in Montenegro. People can move in with a small investment, one of the smallest in terms of investments in across Europe. So they're trying to bring in classical libertarian people from across the globe to move to Montenegro. It's a small country off the coast of the Adriatic. Yeah, and uh, outbid the population there and then become one of the free republics of the world. There are similar projects in the US called the New Hampshire Project, where they want to make that state alone as a free state in that country. Right. Yes. Moving forward, another very, very, very interesting part in this. I think this is the most interesting part for me, where wait, was it Vihang or was it AAA? Can't remember. I think it's on Vihang only. Yes, Vihang's. Sorry, my bad. When the website took off, the website of EBS, right, sir? When it took off, it attracts more people to think alternative solutions, or more like market-based solutions to everyday problems. Simple examples start with students who smash bus windows should be made to work in sheet glass factory to understand how much
Constructive punishment for destructive
works.
activities.
Yes. Yeah, constructive punishment for destructive crimes. That's proposed. And there's a list over there. Those who burn tires could run
A vulcanizing unit or galvanizing.
Yes, rubber plantations and
Rubber.
vulcanizing. Moving forward,
Best is stone pelting.
stone pelting. Yes, they should be made to work in quarries. Even
First,
that.
make the stones. That's the most difficult part. Throwing it is easy.
See,
Right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, they'll understand.
yeah. Next time they think of picking up a stone, they'll, oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah, it's tough. Those who call for bunts and statewide strikes, right, and play with others' livelihood thereby should be left in a forest where none of the services they shut down forcefully would be available to them. No shops, no restaurants, no transport. They're left to fend up for themselves in the wild for a few days. Once that experience will leave a great mark on those people. And then the story moves on to talk about solutions to bigger social issues like reservation, and starting with female reservation for women. I don't want to give out the solutions here because
I think they've proposed it now.
they have the same thing.
I read a couple of days ago.
Okay.
They're going to increase the seats in parliament
Also, that's the same thing.
by 150% or something, and 33% goes to women. I said,
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's amazing. So hey, there you go. Then it's exactly
said
as it is
instead of
written over here.
this thing, Raj Sabha and this thing, have a Stri Sabha and Purush Sabha, equal numbers. You already have 50%.
Even for they are considering for the individual states as
So here the idea was not one constituency is male, female. We say everyone has to elect two
Two
male
people.
and female.
There you go.
Okay.
Problem
No
solved.
one goes unrepresented.
So like we should say that you have already predicted the future.
These are wish lists. Sometimes
Wish
they
list.
happen.
Bucket list.
No, bucket list is what happens when you say before I die. Wish list is even why die? Tomorrow also let it be true.
There's a great movie in Malayalam. I forgot if it's. I was talking to him about this. Underrated movie. Not many people watch. I think I watched after it was released, like 2 years after it was released. The movie's name is called either Padinettam Nuttandu or Pattambadam Nuttandu. I can't exactly remember. Meaning 9th century or 18th. Sorry,
I think it's Papa.
19th century. Yeah, the movie's literal translation would be 19th century, where where a then considerably lower class or caste, how they used, how a particular person from that caste used economic power to uplift that entire caste. Now that that caste is not, I mean, when post independence, that caste is not considered under OBC. But back in the day, they were historically oppressed. It's called the Panikar caste of Kerala. There are a lot of Panikars in Kerala. Simple economic power makes a huge difference. That movie is amazing. I love that movie. With Students for Liberty, I've even screened that movie multiple times in different parts of Kerala. Nobody really knows about that movie because it was not. I mean, the actors were like normal actors, not big famous actors. So it went unnoticed, but I noticed, thankfully. So yeah, that's what economic power can bring, that change which not even political power brought. I'm almost towards the end of my series of matters, right? Another so any civil society requires civil society participation in the government. That shows the health of a proper republican liberal democracy. But then the problem that we see is people who work as activists, and that work becomes very much of a simple livelihood. That's it. They don't care about there are activists, I mean, in my opinion, 80% of the activists in this entire world don't care about what you do, me do, or what their actual stances are for. They are simply there because they can earn a lot of money, right? Even right now there's investigations going on even in the US against a lot of non-profits in Chicago, Minnesota area. Sorry, not Chicago, Minnesota and Chicago.
Sort of where the so-called crashes by that Ilan Omar.
Yeah, they are that
Somalians.
And the
They
governor there.
Crashes with government funds and they're doing something else.
Yeah, and the governor is also pretty shady in my perspective. Tim Walz, who was the vice presidential candidate with Kamala Harris. So yeah, that's a great statement mentioned by AAA, right? Yes. If I had so AAA, who's been one of the main figures after Vihang. So AAA is a well-educated person. Wait, was it AAA or was it? Oh no, sorry, it wasn't AAA. It was the lady who like writes UPSC and then
Joan Rebello.
Exactly, Joan Rebello. Yes, and then she gets like some second rank or something. Actually, she gets tied with the first rank person. Then there's a lot system, and then she becomes second rank, and then they're welcomed, and then in front of a huge crowd, they're welcomed. They're honored by the minister, and then while the honoring is happening, she gets the mic and she says to everybody, "You know what? I'm resigning. I don't want this position anymore." Yeah, and she did that just to showcase that government job or that sarkari thing is not the fulfillment of life. It is not nirvana. Yeah, so she says to shatter the myth that a government job is the greatest service to the country. She did this to shatter that myth. If I had said that sitting at home blogging, no one would take heed. So I chose to demonstrate it in one of the most difficult manner possible. She passed the UPSC, became a rank holder, was about to get honored, and then she let it go.
And demonstrates it very dramatically.
Oh yeah,
she goes to speak.
She
asked for an ashtray. They shocked. What? Then she says, don't worry, there are no smoke dictators here, they're not. Then she opens the letter and burns it. The first rank holder saying, I did it to show that this is not the only path. And she is a chemical engineer. And she wants to go into nuclear energy and she also actually, the other guy who was first with her was an engineer with BITS Pilani. And he's being felicitated and eulogized all over. It happened in Andhra some 6 years, Telangana. Chief Minister saying, great, this guy came from this village background to serve the country. He's gone from BITS to become an IAS officer. This is absolute nonsense. So she says, actually, you're praising that guy. He did a great disservice. He deprived one guy, almost as brilliant as him, by one seat of not getting into BITS, when he had no intention of actually being an engineer. He could have done anthropology or something and just gone his way. So, without knowing that, all these guys, Thali, CM, KCR was doing that for some guy.
Right. And then they go on to talk about how people appeal to others and why certain kind of appeal is what activists always use, the so-called activists, right? They could have used logos, which is logical appeal. They could have used ethos, which is appealing to the truth, status, but they always choose pathos, the Greek word pathos, which is appealing to emotions alone. That's it. No truth, no logic, just emotions. And that's what gives such activists win everywhere. And that's a great example that you brought in. I think I kind of, okay, I'm getting a answer to one of the questions that I had in my mind. Yeah, about something that you yourself pointed out later towards the end of, literally at the end of the book. Again, I think the last thing that I would want to, so of course towards the end also there are great plot twists. I'm not going to go into that because that's like spoilers. How the book is obvious also have it has its own beauty in terms of other literature requirements of a novel, with a little bit of drama here and there, with a little bit of romance here and there. This is all great. I love reading all that aspect. Just like, this soon, I hope this can be a movie sometime soon, because it really has that content in it. How many of you know there's a huge educational group in the world, which technically is, they're started by Indians, but I think right now they're headquartered in Dubai, and part Dubai, part London. Have you got any idea about this huge, like the worldwide? There's a educational organization. I think they're both a non-profit as well. This is not from the book, but I'm just saying because it's very much related to what is mentioned towards the end of the book. It's a huge education institution. There are even fellowships and scholarships that they're giving. They're well known. Nobody? Is there anybody who did education from Dubai or Abu Dhabi or any of the Gulf countries? No. If it were Kerala, at least 2-3 people would have raised their hands by now. It's called the GEMS Educational Society. GEMS itself is education over there. Nobody? No.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's a foundation called the Warki Foundation, London-based Warki Foundation, and they're huge. But unfortunately, they're not. Right now they're starting. I think they're going to start a school here in Hyderabad. Yeah, I just saw a billboard somewhere. It's too late. They build these schools across the globe. They have huge, students studying in their schools, and then they're so famous and worldwide. UN. Not that I'm a fan of UN, but even such big intergovernmental organizations award them with so much of philanthropical prizes and all. Yet our home country, the person's home country, did not yet allow that organization to function here. I think it is after the NEP, the Education Policy of 2020, that they finally decided, okay, you know what, we'll come to India. Maybe I'm wrong. Factually, I need to check that. I just saw the billboard right now. That's why I'm saying it. That's a sad truth. The quality of people from a gem school in the UAE or in Bahrain is amazing. Like those are, I mean, my classmates who came from gem school really stood out from everybody else. I could see that very well. So you might think they're like luxury school. No, even common people can go there, right? Why I said that is because how many, by the way, how many of you know that in India schools cannot be for profit, but still there are so many for profit school companies. The point was, yeah, one of the main accusations against the early bird school was that it was not giving preference to minorities, or no reservations, no quotas, no special preference for anybody, right? And that was apparently anti-minority. It was anti any race, any religion for that matter, and therefore the school should be shut down. It was not respecting the Right to Education Act as well, so therefore the school should be shut down. And that's some of the reasons why they were almost about to. I mean, they got it right, and then the court overturned it. Oh, shouldn't be saying that. Sorry. Yeah, but that's the way in which it's so difficult to run a school in India. Even if you want to, even if you have philanthropical heart, you cannot run a school in India because of the amount of laws that literally stops you, vilifies you as a chairman, as a board member of a school. Unfortunately, from my own personal experience, the school that I studied till from KG to 8th standard, it closed down when I was in university because of financial problems. They couldn't run anymore. Yeah, and it was very clear that one of the reasons was because of how government was pressurizing them to with different financial aspects. Yeah. With that, another very interesting thing that you points out here is while everybody claims government schools are doing great, and that these secretaries and all, they are managing government schools and government schools are running amazing, but you should always ask these government officers how many, if their children are actually going to government schools or a private school, right? Yeah, there you go. You don't need any more logic with respect to that. Just like he mentioned earlier, people feel that they are like noble protectors of us children who doesn't know anything. I'll end with that final quote from AAA. I think that's it from me. Freedom is not one battle that you win for keeps. It is an ongoing war that has to be waged anew every day. Nor is it something that can be totally vanquished by all the rapacious
Rapacious.
rapacious, my bad, rapacious words.
Swords.
Rapacious words. Sorry, I want to interrupt. This book helped me improve my vocabulary by a lot. Yeah.
Wasn't meant to. You're giving all the wrong things. They'll say, "Kyun padna ye?"
Like from the beginning onwards, I've
See,
been.
the whole thing is when you have to get something crisp, you have to use as few words as possible. Like I was explaining that poster, anything. So maybe I'm cryptic to a fault, but that's what. Okay, saying Atlas Shrugged and all. This is about 20 of these books will be one Atlas Shrugged in size. And in quality, that will be 2,000 times better. But at least in volume, this is just
270 pages.
200 pages.
270 pages. Yeah. It is
But
like
it got a lot of things into it.
true.
I mean, most of the things troubling anyone who's thinking, whether it's environment or schooling.
So I'll finish that quote anyways. My bad. My apologies. Nor is it something that can be totally vanquished by all the rapacious swords wielded by the grasping arms of tyrants, hiding behind shields of noble intentions. As long as you yearn to fly, you never die. That's the ending.
The book starts with a mother who loves dogs more than her son and a father obsessed with carbon footprints. So, like, did you give them a specific cold or formal way of speaking? to highlight how distant they were from Vihang compared to the people he met on the streets.
Was it intentional, right?
Yeah, was it intentional?
Sorry, I didn't get you. A way of speaking.
Like the way you have described the relationship of Vihang to his parents,
Hmm.
like they were very cold to them compared to the people he met on the streets, like they were very welcoming to Vihang, like Triple A and other characters.
Yeah, people on the street were not posturing. They were truthful. His parents were a sham. That's why he used to puke every time he heard.
Yeah,
I mean, if you read the book,
yeah,
he
you
couldn't.
like, sorry,
Yeah,
you mentioned like Triple A says that he is a walking lie
lie detector.
detector. So yeah.
So outside in the outside world, no one bothers about him. No? They don't put on a poster for him. It's a transactional thing outside in the world. That's what he realized. So it's fine.
And one more question. Like Vihangam means a free soaring bird. Do you think true freedom is something Vihang found on the streets or something he had to build for himself?
You don't find freedom anywhere. It's up to you most of the time, but you gravitate towards freer climates, surroundings, whatever, regimes. But it's up to you. Most of it is up to you, whether you bow down or rebel and go out. Just on the streets, you'll find drug addicts, you'll find pickpockets, you'll find every nonsense there. It's a whole mix. So streets aren't automatically a haven of freedom.
That's true.
And mad drivers, especially Hyderabad.
Okay, so I had a question, and it's actually in the acknowledgement. So you have mentioned that I am also thankful to Poonam Ganglani for the initial manuscript critique. Her valid observation made me add an interesting character to the story. So,
John Rebello.
Yeah.
okay,
I added John Rebello.
okay. So, yeah, her, her,
And she said, the graduates of EBS, I want to know them. You haven't shown any at that time. How right she was.
Actually, we were discussing.
And
yes.
Joan became one of my favorite thing. It's so interesting what she did.
So on the way, we were discussing the same thing, and we had multiple things like I said it was Dr. Rupa, and then she was saying it was one of them. I think she said Samudramai, but then Samudramai is a very important character.
Who? What did?
The mother.
No,
Yeah.
those villains were there from the beginning. Hater and Goon. You remember the acronyms, no?
Yeah.
Human Animal Treaty for Equal Rights. Hater, she loves dogs.
Yes.
And Goon is Green Order of Nations.
But then just now while we were discussing it, and when we mentioned George, and then you mentioned George specifically, you emphasized I was like so sure it was George. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So my next question is actually something that was also being discussed. So as Dennis has also mentioned that John Locke once quoted that government is a necessary evil. So, like in the first chapter only, in the second page only, they said that like when he was there to present himself as a representative or to get elected,
Yeah.
so they started questioning him, like, and the people who even came as his supporter, they were also questioning him. So it's quoted that look at them and their ambition, he muttered to himself, and the obvious esteem they held the youngest, this Vihang, in. So they are criticizing him for even standing up.
That's the returning officer, not they.
Yes, yes.
Return, yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to ask is this is a very real life scenario where, like even recently when the UPSC results came out, so one of my friends was like he was a rank holder. So when he posted about that, like in the comments, people were really criticizing him that he gave the exam, he passed to do corruption. And like it was so disheartening because like even though we are seeing it in a bad light, okay, I understand that the public sentiments what they are because of the actions only. that were reflected and they were revealed. But then when someone steps up and wants to do something really good, even they are also seen in a bad light. So what can we do in the future that can turn this public perception towards them into something fruitful?
No, it becomes increasingly difficult. You can't do anything. Forget now with social media going berserk, everything is trolled. So yeah, that comes with the territory. So behold the tortoise.
Yeah.
It makes progress only when it sticks its neck out. Andar, be in your shell. Come out, there's a risk.
Okay.
There's a risk I'm taking. I don't talk to people.
Okay. So, my last question is when we were discussing about children and how we wanted to start the school, but I've also interned with people and I've visited the childcare homes, and I was talking to the director, and the situation there is actually very worse because they do not get funding at all. And then he was telling me a story that when officers go to look after the children who were reported for the childcare homes, so the children's basically, on the railways, they try to drug themselves through the ink of the pen.
There's a white this thing. White
Yes.
now. They use.
Yes. So they do these things, and even if they don't want to go to the childcare homes, they don't want to. They literally run away from it. So what and you were saying that we need constructive. What is constructive punishment for destructive
Destructive
crimes.
crime.
So what do you think we can do, or anyone in the world can do, to restrict their future?
No, where's the crime here? That's what. No, you're talking about the need for
Yeah.
childcare in a
Yes.
sense. But how is that linked
But
to
even
constructive punishment?
the juveniles, they are also considered for the childcare homes. They are also reported for the same or sent to the same, and their mindset kind of gets altered through all the experience that they have had on the street. And that in a way, I've also interacted with some of them, so that's how I know. They do not really believe that there is a future for them that can be good, or they can themselves be good. And to see that, children's at that young age say things like that, it was
So
really,
these are all orphans you're talking about.
yeah,
Or
more or
they're
less. More or less.
runaways like Vihangam.
Orphans or runaways or people was children who were lost.
See, is there an easy solution? There's not. That's what I'm saying. The millions of other important things the government or other NGOs should be thinking about.
Yes.
And one simple thing, I mean, a broad rule is create opportunities
Yes.
for them to sniffing glue.
Yes.
To actually, there's something else you can do. It's easy to work. They won't find work. Again, child labor comes in.
But even the childcare home does not have, enough funds to feed them. They literally
No, who
do
gives
not
the
even have
funds?
rice.
Who gives the funds? Government.
Yeah.
Who supposed to spend the funds? A government servant. He's eating all that. No, see, before there used to be private charities that take care of all this. Government says it's going to do everything. It can't do. The temples used to do that. Churches will do it. Gurudwaras do it. Food, don't they give food? Langars. Temples used to do much more, but they don't have the funds because it's government controlled. Small temples that are not under government control don't have the kind of funds that Tirupati has. Tirupati could feed half the nation if it wanted.
Hi sir, my name is Mangesh Prajapati. I want to ask you, in beginning of the discussion, you talk about Rahul Sankrityan. How he influenced you?
I haven't read. My mother read him.
Ah,
So that's my bad. I wish I could read as many books as she read. You read him?
yeah, I have read.
Is he very good?
Yeah,
My mother holds him in high esteem.
I have read about. He is known for his Yatra Vritant. He is known as the traveler author, writer.
So I'll catch an English.
Sir,
I'll get an English copy of his and read.
I read about first copy is Lahasa Ki Or.
Lhasa Ki Aur.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sir.
I'll check that out. At least I have to keep up with my mother.
So, sir, my question is unrelated to the book and more about the film industry. So, when Dennis was taking a class about this thing about air flights and stuff, about Indigo hiking its prices, you said the example of Udan, where Udan, yeah, the Vijay's movie, where yeah, yeah, and where the team is that the hero.
Surya.
Surya.
That's what my.
Sorry, okay. Sorry, mixed it up. So, in that movie, the hero is actually taking the socialist stand, wherein, yeah, and we see that in many movies produced within India, the predominant message tends to be socialist. So, my question to you is, why is that so? Why isn't the principles of liberty or equality being more widespread within the film industry? And is that because the people reject such notions? Like, is it because the film market, rejects those notions and only rewards you for promoting socialist messages?
The whole thing is like the universities abroad, the communists took it over, teaching. You have two generations coming out believing in that, taking it for granted. Same way in India, IPTA, Indian People's Theatre Association, all the writers, actors who came were communists, card carrying communists. They all came into the film industry. All your writers, everyone. In Hollywood, all of them are. Whether you call them socialist or whatever, are that. So, India from day one, it was card carrying communists. All your great lyricists, writers, all were communists.
So, sir, does this mean that the Indian audience naturally prefers socialism? Because if the incentive was the different, if people believed in libertarian ideas, then naturally
They weren't given a choice, I think. Like a government, they are voting for the best movie out of a bunch of bad communist movies. Okay, Dilip Kumar did well in this. His Tonga raced a bus. For them, it felt great. Array. His Tonga is good. Modernization will never beat us. That famous movie was that? I don't know. Dilip Kumar and Bollywood movie.
I have read about it. Life of
No, so the history is that it's always that Balraj, all these are card carrying communists. So obviously you're going to respond. You make something, I make something, it's going to be about freedom. I'm not going to buy that Datta Saman thing and say trade union and all that.
it just struck me. Like, if you promote the libertarian ideals, then the onus on improving the situation falls on the audience. Maybe if it is socialism, then they have a hero to look up to, or they can imagine themselves to be the hero who saves the day. Whereas in libertarian philosophy, you are on your own. Like, you are the maker of your own destiny. Maybe
So
that
you're
won't work.
thinking the audience prefer that way?
Maybe
I don't
it's
think so. There was no choice till now.
Yeah, but he's also saying, sir, like if the audience is, I mean, if we push it, giving that option as such,
I think
audience will start thinking in the other way as well. It's just like you said.
No, there's a Durandar now. It changed the whole conversation about movies. Whole thing in a tidal wave, everything went off, no? Because there's only one way about talking about Pakistan as a friendly neighbor, nice bikini neighbor. I don't know. Raw and together they do. Arre, bloody ISIs are mortal enemy who vowed to kill India with 1,000 cuts by the then Prime Minister. They gave that dialogue to the ISI chief. But so how can we be friends with those ISI terrorists? You're not talking about Pakistani people, but that's what they gave us. Hindi movie industry till date. Now no one, not a squeak from them. They don't know what to say about Durandar because audience are lapping it up. Till now they saw that. They also saw Jawan, Patan. They saw that. Even that must have made 700, 800 crores. But this is resounding more than double that, 3 times that. So given a choice, they will. And half the time, maybe, as far as films are concerned, people are omnivorous. They eat biryani, they eat some nonsense also. Time ki baat hai. That day they feel. Na. But generally, given a choice, I trust people choose the better option, the brighter option. Like plants, they travel towards phototropic.
Sir, my name is Udesh. I am also a law student. So my basic question to you, sir, is when we talk about freedom, so are we really free? Because when you talked about that Vahani, as far as I'm naming it correctly,
Hmm.
so if we talk about that Uber Ola situation, I haven't read that book firstly, but while gauging all this from the talk, so while respect to Ola, Uber, cab drivers, so are they not consenting to be ruled by someone? Even drawing analogy from our parliament, sir.
Hmm.
So we are choosing our leaders.
Hmm.
More than 50% votes they get, they are elected. They are the rulers. When they are coming up with one policy, we do not know, as rightly currently transgender bill came into force. So we did not consent for that. We did not, they did not ask any questions regarding that, or while making up any policy or bill. So right, currently the Gujarat government came up with the uniform civil code recently. So why our consent does not matter? Because are did we consent to be ruled by the rulers? Are we really free? Because I genuinely doubt this, because when I voted, let's suppose I voted for BJP or Congress, whatever, the ruler is elected and the ruler is ruling against my ruler is ruling against to my mindset, what I feel, what I think. So am I really?
Yeah, free. Who said you're free with the government? That's my whole argument. No?
Yes.
Government is overbearing. But by mistake, I thought initially you started saying even an Uber driver is not free, he's ruled by the aggregator. No. He has a choice to not go. You don't have a choice not to be a citizen of India. Farak hai na?
Yes.
So don't compare those two. In private business, even if you're running your own small business, actually Uber driver is running his business.
Yes.
His gadi, his timings. And even the price he has to accept. No. That's why they say add extra tip to incentivize a driver to come faster. Forget surge. I think Rapido does that. And again, competition does it. No? Surge. Rapido is extremely cheap compared to these two.
Yes.
So competition will do that if you don't regulate it. But whereas government, it's the opposite. You increase the price and scarcity of everything. That's the nature of the beast.
So what are your views regarding that, sir, when the government is coming up with a policy? And so in while quoting the example of Brazilian government, so what they do is they interact with people of different arenas. They try to gather the sources, they try to gather the perspectives of individual. So while we talk about individual liberty, B.R. Ambedkar was also the proponent of that. So also the drafter of the constitution. So when we talk about all these things, sir, so why our consent does not matter when
No, what are you talking about a referendum for every major thing?
So yes, sir,
A
what are your
referendum
views?
for 1.4 billion people. It's not Switzerland. No.
Yes, true.
That's what when Dennis was saying, no, what works for a small thing, there's a difference even in physics. In economics, micro, macro, rules are different. In physics also, quantum and regular physics is different.
Yes.
So when the number of people, see the whole problem with us is why we are so apply the same rules. Governments are still behind times. Ours is still that primeval tribal mentality. When we are a tribe, 20 people, jaake pagad ke lao, meet a shade equally. You can't do that here. This is a marketplace. So government, it won't restrict itself. Its nature is to expand. It's what.
So we are, let's suppose I twist this situation, sir. Just a moment for that. I voted for one party which is not the ruling party.
Hmm.
So I voted for someone who is not elected. So if the person or if the party is coming up with certain things, so although I belong to the 49% category,
Hmm.
just 2%. So I did not consent for whatever they are coming with. I did not ask. I did not. My consent
Yeah,
was
I
not taken, sir.
understand what you're saying. The whole
Yes.
problem is that's why government shouldn't have so much power. It should,
Yes.
whether that guy comes or Tweedledum or Tweedledee, they shouldn't have the power to harm you. They should have just 4 basic things to do: law and order, courts, this. Bus. Don't do all this other hairy million things they're doing and running businesses. If that isn't there, it won't matter to you whom you voted for. He'd have his power to harm you and change your life is very limited. So try for that, not this party. That's why I'm saying zero party. Shonya, what opposition doesn't do.
I resonate with you, surely. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you so much for your inquisitive questions. Yeah. And so I'm so grateful once again to Gangaraju Garu for inviting us and having this fireside chat about this amazing book. So as now you know, there's a lot more than the technical stuff, interesting stuff actually. Yeah. So please, you got to read it, and this is for anybody who's listening to me via.
Yeah, you can take the books. Those who haven't, you said they are not available. Srinivas books ఉన్నాయి కదా.
Yeah, that would be that'll be a great gift for all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much once again. And
No, it'll be a gift because I want the ideas to spread.
yes, and I want to appreciate a few people who are not here, but who helped us arrange this. One of the directors of Swatantrata Center, Raghavendra Skani.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he's the
reached out to me.
yes. Swatantrata Center, as we have Ranjit Dugundla here, one of the directors of Swatantrata Center, representing the center, and it was we call Raghavendra as Ravi.
Yeah.
Very sweetly. So Ravi had this idea a long time back that Dennis, have you read? There's a book called Vihangam. Did you come across this? Have you read about it? Yeah, this person called Gangaraju, who is a big shot in the industry.
Yeah. Sometimes they lies. Not you, Raghavendra.
And then he arranged a meeting between Gangaraju Garu and Leonard
Lawrence
Reed.
No,
Yeah.
Lawrence spoke to me of fee. You must be aware of fee. Foundation
Islamic
for
Education. Yeah.
Lawrence Reed, Chairman Emeritus, I think is retired.
Yeah, he's
now.
Emeritus. Yeah.
So surprisingly, Raghavendra gave the book to him, and I think he called me, and I think that was one of the biggest compliments I ever received, because he said, "See, I was busy, so I thought a few nights, I'll read a bit each night." So one night I picked it up, then I read it to the finish. Then I said, "Okay, great." So he spoke for 45 minutes. For me, I've always admired Fee and what they did, and his father's book, I Pencil. So for me, it was a big thing. Lawrence calling up.
He recently translated into Telugu.
I Pencil. Raghavendra Alaga, I met him through that actually.
So Swatantrata Center does amazing work connecting people, which is very important too. And of course, Students for Liberty is a great beneficiary of that. So we thank Swatantrata Center, and we thank once again
No,
Raghavendra
thank you all
and your
for
staff
taking the
members
time.
for all this. Thank you so much.